In this video, I will be showing you on how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers. There are two ways in adding and subtracting integers. The first one is by using a number line. When using a number line, we must always remember that when adding or subtracting a negative integer, we must always move to the left. And when adding or subtracting a positive integer, we must always move to the right. For example, 4 plus 3. We all know that 4 plus 3 is 7, but in this case, to make things clearer, we will use a number line. The first step is to locate your first number. So in this case, it is 4. So 4 is here. Then add 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Then continue your number line. 4, 5, 6, 7. Your final answer will be positive 7. How about 6 plus negative 4? So, as what I said earlier, when dealing with a negative integer, we must always move to the left. So, again, the first step is to locate your first number or your first given, which in this case is 6. So here. Then you move 4 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then continue your number line. 5, 4, 3, 2. So your final answer will be positive 2. Another way of adding and subtracting integers is by using these couple of rules. The first rule is when dealing with integers of the same sign. We must always remember that when adding two positive numbers will result also to a positive number. Now, when dealing with a negative number plus a negative number will also result into a negative number. Example, positive 7 plus positive 2. Positive plus positive is equal to positive, and 7 plus 2 is equals to 9, so 7 plus 2 is equal to 9. Another example, negative 8 plus negative 8. Negative plus negative is equal to negative. And 8 plus 8 is 16. So our final answer will be 16. Another rule is when combining numbers of different signs. We must always remember that when dealing with integers of different signs, the first step is to subtract. After subtracting is to copy the sign of the bigger value. Plus negative 3. The numbers have different signs. So the first step will be is to subtract them. 5 minus 3 is equals to 2. Then we need to copy the sign whichever the bigger value is. So the bigger value is positive 5. So our answer will be positive 2. Another example, negative 8 plus 4. Again, they have different signs, so we will subtract them. 8 minus 4 is 4. Then we will copy whichever the bigger value is. So in this case, it is 8, and 8 is a negative number. So our final answer will be negative 4. Another example is 11 minus 6. They have different signs since 11 is a positive number and 6 becomes a negative number. So subtract them. 11 minus 6 is 5. And the bigger value is 11. So our final answer will be positive 5. Next is 12 minus 13. They have different signs, so we will subtract them. 12 minus 13 is 1. And the bigger value here is 13, and 13 is a negative number. So our final answer will be negative. Now we will move on to multiplying integers. In multiplying integers, there are also some rules. So we must remember that when multiplying a positive number times a positive number, our final answer will also be positive. And when multiplying with a negative number times a positive number, our final answer will be a negative number. Multiplying positive number times negative number will result into a negative number. And when multiplying with a negative number times a negative number will result into a positive number. We must always remember that when dealing with the same sign, our result will always be positive. And when dealing with different signs, for example, negative times positive, will always result into a negative value. For example, 7 times 3. Both are positive numbers, and multiplying with positive times positive will result into a positive value. So 7 times 3 will be positive 21. Another example is negative 4 times positive 6. And when dealing with a negative times positive number will result into a negative value. So 6 times 4 is 24. And they both have different signs, so our final answer will be negative 24. Next example is 4 times negative 4. When dealing with a positive times negative number will result into a negative value, and 4 times 4 is 16, so our final answer will be negative 16. Next example is positive 7 times positive 8. Both are positive numbers, and positive times positive will result into a positive value. So our final answer will be positive 56. Next example is negative 5 times negative 5. Both are negative numbers, and negative times negative is positive. So our final answer will be positive 25. Another example is positive 9 times positive 8. 9 times 8 is equals to 72. Both are positive numbers, so our final answer will be a positive number as well. So what happens when I put a negative number here? I mean, a negative sign here. Negative 9 times negative 8 will result into a negative 72. Now what if I put another negative sign on 8? Negative 9 times negative 8 will result into positive 72. Since negative times negative is positive. So the same rules apply in dividing integers. positive integer divided by a positive integer will also result into a positive value. Negative integer divided by a positive integer will result into a negative integer. Positive integer divided by a negative integer will also result into a negative integer. And finally, negative divided by negative will result into positive. So, as you can see, they both have the same rules. For example, positive 8 divided by positive 4. Positive divided by positive is equals to positive value. So positive 8 divided by positive 4 will result into negative 2. How about negative 8 divided by positive 4? Negative divided by positive will result into a positive number. So our final answer will be negative 2. Now, what if positive 10 over negative 5? Positive divided by negative will result into negative value. So our final answer will be negative 2. Now, what if our given is negative 10 over negative 5? Negative divided by negative is positive. So our final answer will be positive 2.